The distress signal crackled through the Valiant, breaking the silence of deep space. James Caldwell, an experienced British explorer with a reputation for empathy and bravery, glanced at the ship's AI interface. The holographic image displayed a colossal creature, battered and chained, left to die on a barren, uncharted planet. "Iris, analyze the signal," James commanded. "Signal origin, uncharted planet. Species identified current. Condition critical," Iris responded in her precise, mechanical voice. James frowned. The current were a misunderstood species, feared for their size and strength but known to be intelligent and gentle unless provoked. His heart clenched at the sight of the creature's suffering. He knew he had to act, even if it meant deviating from his mission for the United Earth Alliance (UEA). "Iris, set a course for the planet," James ordered. "Proceed with caution, James. This could be a trap," Iris advised, but James had already made up his mind. The Valiant descended onto the planet's surface, a desolate wasteland littered with ruins of an ancient civilization. James stepped out, the harsh wind biting at his skin, and made his way to the source of the signal. His eyes widened as he approached the current, its massive body chained and covered in wounds. He moved closer, assessing the situation. "Easy there, big guy," James murmured, his voice soothing. "I'm here to help." As he began to work on the chains, a sudden whirring noise alerted him to danger. Defense drones emerged from the shadows, their weapons trained on him. James's military instincts kicked in. He dodged the first volley of laser fire, rolling to the side and drawing his blaster. The fight was swift but fierce, with James using his environment to outmaneuver the drones. He disabled them one by one until the last one fell to the ground in a smoking heap. Breathing heavily, James returned to the current, now watching him with wary, intelligent eyes. He resumed his task, finally breaking the last chain. The creature groaned in relief, standing shakily on its legs. "You're free now," James said, stepping back to give the current space. "I'm going to call you Kara." Kara tilted its head, as if understanding him, and took a tentative step forward. James smiled, sensing the beginning of an unexpected alliance. He turned to lead Kara back to the Valiant, when more drones appeared, blocking their path. "Damn it!" James muttered, readying his blaster again. But before he could react, Kara lunged at the drones with surprising agility, tearing through them with ease. Within moments, the threat was neutralized. James stared at Kara, who looked back with what seemed like gratitude. He realized this creature was not only strong but also willing to protect those who helped it. Together, they made their way back to the Valiant, avoiding further traps set by the alien captors. Once aboard, James accessed the ship's database, searching for information about the ruins they had seen. He discovered that the planet was once home to a thriving civilization that had revered the current as protectors. The Darkuan, a ruthless alien race, had betrayed the current, enslaving and abandoning them when the planet's resources were exhausted. James clenched his fists, anger boiling within him. The Darkuan were planning something similar for Earth, and he had to warn the UEA. He contacted his old military comrades, sending them the evidence he had gathered. "This is bigger than any of us," James said during a secure transmission. "The Darkuan won't stop until they've exploited every planet in their path. We need to act now." His comrades, though initially skeptical, were convinced by the data and the presence of Kara, whose intelligence and nobility were evident. They agreed to meet and plan their next move. As James prepared to leave the planet, he glanced at Kara, who had settled into the ship's cargo hold, now repurposed as a makeshift habitat. "We're in this together, Kara," he said softly. The creature rumbled in response, a sound that James interpreted as agreement. James and Kara flew through the galaxy aboard the Valiant, their newfound bond growing stronger with each passing moment. The current's intelligence and loyalty were evident as it followed James's commands with keen understanding. Despite their triumph over the initial drones, James knew their journey was far from over. He had uncovered only a fraction of the Darkuan's plans, and the thought of their potential threat to Earth spurred him onward. The ruins on the desolate planet had hinted at a rich history, one where the Karent were once revered. James delved deeper into the ship's database, piecing together the scattered remnants of information. Ancient holograms depicted the Karent as protectors, their massive forms shielding the planet's inhabitants from various threats. However, the alliance with the Tharkuan had been their undoing. The Tharkuan, masquerading as allies, had enslaved and exploited the Karent before abandoning them to die when the planet's resources were exhausted. James's discovery of this betrayal fueled his determination. He contacted his old military comrades, sending encrypted messages to those he trusted most. Each message contained the evidence he had gathered, along with a plea for immediate action. The Tharkuan's plans extended beyond a single planet, and humanity was their next target. As the Valiant approached Earth, James received replies from his comrades, now influential leaders within the United Earth Alliance. They were skeptical at first, but the undeniable proof and Kara's presence convinced them of the imminent threat. A meeting was arranged, a clandestine gathering of key figures who would strategize their next move. The meeting took place in a secure, underground bunker. James arrived with Kara at his side, her imposing presence drawing gasps and murmurs from the gathered officials. He presented his findings, detailing the Tharkuan's exploitation network and the potential danger to Earth. "We cannot ignore this," James stated, his voice steady but urgent. "The Tharkuan have already set their sights on us. If we don't act now, we could face the same fate as the Karent." His words resonated with the council. They agreed to form a coalition to confront the Tharkuan, uniting the best minds and resources Earth had to offer. Preparations began immediately, with James and Kara at the forefront of the effort. During the planning stages, James and Kara spent countless hours training together. Kara's strength and agility were invaluable, and their bond deepened as they worked in sync. James shared his knowledge of combat tactics, while Kara demonstrated its unique abilities, further solidifying their partnership. The coalition's first mission was to infiltrate a Tharkuan command center. The intelligence gathered from this operation would be crucial in dismantling their network. James led a team of elite operatives, with Kara as a formidable asset. The Tharkuan outpost was heavily fortified, but their combined skills and determination proved unstoppable. The infiltration was a blend of stealth and precision. James navigated through the maze of corridors, disabling security systems and neutralizing guards. Kara moved silently beside him, its senses sharp and alert. They reached the central command room, where a wealth of data awaited them. As they began extracting the information, alarms blared. A trusted member of the coalition had betrayed them, revealing their presence to the Tharkuan. Chaos erupted as Tharkuan soldiers stormed the command room. James and his team fought valiantly, but the sheer number of enemies threatened to overwhelm them. In the midst of the chaos, Kara unleashed its full power, tearing through the Tharkuan forces with relentless fury. James fought beside it, their combined efforts turning the tide of the battle. The traitor, exposed and cornered, was subdued, but not before inflicting considerable damage. With the mission on the brink of failure, James made a split-second decision. He and Kara initiated a desperate final push, securing the critical data and retreating to the Valiant. The escape was harrowing, but they managed to outmaneuver their pursuers and blast off into space. Back aboard the Valiant, James transmitted the data to the coalition. The information revealed the full extent of the Tharkuan's plans, including detailed maps of their operations and targets. The coalition now had the upper hand, but the battle was far from over. James looked at Kara, who was recovering from the fierce combat. The Karent's eyes met his, and an unspoken understanding passed between them. They were ready to face whatever came next, united by a common purpose and a bond forged in the heat of battle. The coalition's headquarters was abuzz with activity as preparations for the assault on the Tharkuan stronghold ramped up. James Caldwell stood at the center of the command room, reviewing strategic plans with his fellow officers. Beside him, Kara remained vigilant, an imposing figure that commanded respect from everyone present. James could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. The data they had retrieved from the Tharkuan outpost had provided critical insights, but it also revealed the enormity of the task ahead. The Darkun were entrenched and well prepared, with defenses that would challenge even the most coordinated efforts of the coalition. "We'll need to strike fast and hard," James said, pointing to the holographic map that displayed the Darkun stronghold. "Their central command is heavily fortified, but if we can disable their communication network, we can create confusion and disarray." General Morgan, an old friend and a key figure in the coalition, nodded in agreement. "Our best chance is to split into two teams. One will focus on the communication array, while the other targets the command center directly." James assigned his team, choosing skilled operatives who had proven their mettle in previous missions. Among them was Lieutenant Sarah Davis, a sharp strategist with a no-nonsense attitude, and Sergeant Mike Reynolds, a seasoned soldier with a knack for improvisation. Kara, of course, would be at his side, providing unmatched strength and support. As the team prepared to depart, James pulled Sarah and Mike aside. "This mission is critical. We're not just fighting for Earth but for every species the Darkuan have oppressed. Stay sharp, stay focused, and we'll get through this." The journey to the Darkuan stronghold was tense. The Coalition's fleet moved stealthily through space, avoiding detection with advanced cloaking technology. James briefed his team one final time, ensuring everyone knew their roles and the risks involved. When they reached the planet, the teams split up as planned. James led the assault team toward the communication array, while General Morgan's team headed for the command center. The landscape was rugged and hostile, but the coalition forces moved with determination, driven by the knowledge of what was at stake. As they approached the communication array, James signaled for his team to halt. He scanned the area with his binoculars, noting the patrol patterns of the Darkuan guards. "We need to take them out quietly. Any alarm, and we'll have the whole base on us." Sarah nodded, signaling her squad to spread out. They moved with practiced precision, taking down the guards with silenced weapons. Kara's presence was a silent but powerful deterrent, its keen senses alerting them to any hidden threats. Once the guards were neutralized, James and his team moved quickly to the array. Mike set up the charges, working swiftly and efficiently. "Charges are set," he whispered. "Ready on your mark, Captain." James gave the signal, and the charges detonated with a muffled thud, disabling the array in a controlled explosion. Immediately, they could see the effects of the disruption as the Darkuan forces scrambled, their coordination faltering. "Now we move to the command center," James ordered. "We need to capitalize on their confusion." As they made their way to the second objective, the ground shook from distant explosions. General Morgan's team had begun their assault, drawing the Darkuan's attention. James's team advanced through the chaos, using the terrain to their advantage. They reached the entrance of the command center, only to be met with heavy resistance. The Darkuan were regrouping, and the battle intensified. James and his team fought fiercely, every move calculated to gain the upper hand. Kara was a whirlwind of motion, protecting the team and striking down enemies with lethal precision. Amid the firefight, James noticed a familiar face, the traitor who had betrayed them at the outpost. Anger surged through him, but he forced himself to stay focused. "Sarah, Mike, cover me!" he shouted, pushing forward. The traitor saw him coming and raised his weapon, but James was faster. He disarmed the traitor with a swift blow, knocking him to the ground. "You betrayed us," James said coldly, pressing his blaster to the traitor's chest. "Why?" the traitor sneered. "The Darkuan offered me power, something you and your idealistic coalition could never provide." James felt a pang of sorrow for what could have been a trusted ally. Without another word, he incapacitated the traitor, securing him for interrogation later. There were bigger battles to fight now. With the traitor neutralized, James and his team pushed through the final defenses. They breached the command center, where the Darkuan leaders were desperately trying to regain control. The coalition forces were relentless, and one by one, the Darkuan fell. The command center was finally secured. James took a deep breath, surveying the scene. The mission had been costly, but they had succeeded in dealing a significant blow to the Darkuan. "We've done it," James said to his team, a sense of relief washing over him. But this isn't over. We've got more work to do. The Coalition forces gathered on the outskirts of the Darkoon stronghold, finalizing their plans for the impending assault. James Caldwell stood at the front, his eyes scanning the determined faces of his comrades. Kara, the Current, stood beside him, a symbol of strength and loyalty. The mission was clear. They had to strike decisively to dismantle the Darkoon's operations and secure peace for the galaxy. As the first wave of Coalition fighters moved in, James led his team through the rugged terrain. The stronghold was heavily guarded, with sentry towers and automated turrets scanning for intruders. James's heart pounded as they approached the outer defenses, knowing the success of their mission hinged on their ability to infiltrate undetected. Sarah, take the left flank with your squad. Mike, you're with me, James ordered, his voice steady. Kara, stay close and be ready for anything. The team moved like shadows, slipping past the initial patrols. The Darkoon guards were disciplined, but the Coalition's training and strategy gave them the edge. They neutralized the sentries silently, advancing toward the main gate. James signaled Mike to disable the security systems, and within moments, the gate was breached. Inside the stronghold, the Darkoon scrambled to respond to the sudden incursion. Alarms blared, and the sounds of battle echoed through the corridors. James's team pressed forward, each step bringing them closer to their goal. They fought with precision, their movements a testament to their training and resolve. As they reached the central command chamber, they encountered heavy resistance. The Darkoon leaders had fortified their position, and the ensuing battle was fierce. Laser fire illuminated the dimly lit room, and the air crackled with energy. James and his team fought valiantly, each member playing a crucial role in the fight. Kara was a force of nature, its powerful limbs striking down Darkoon soldiers with ease. The bond between James and Kara had grown strong, their coordinated efforts turning the tide of the battle. They pushed through the defenses, reaching the command console where the Darkoon leader stood defiantly. Your reign ends here, James declared, his blaster trained on the leader. The Darkoon leader sneered, activating a hidden shield. You think you can stop us? We are eternal. James's eyes narrowed. We'll see about that. He signaled Kara, who charged at the shield with immense force. The shield crackled and faltered under the onslaught, giving James the opportunity to fire a precise shot. The Darkoon leader fell, the shield dissipating in a shower of sparks. With the command center secured, James accessed the console, transmitting critical data to the Coalition fleet. The information would help dismantle the Darkoon's operations across the galaxy, ensuring long-term security for countless worlds. As the battle wound down, James's team regrouped, tending to the wounded and securing the area. The Darkoon's defenses had been formidable, but the Coalition's determination had prevailed. James looked around, his heart swelling with pride for his team's courage and sacrifice. We did it, Mike said, clapping James on the shoulder. We really did it. James nodded, a smile breaking through his exhaustion. We couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. And Kara, you were incredible. Kara rumbled softly, its large eyes reflecting the shared victory. The bond between them was unspoken yet profound, a testament to the strength of unity and trust. As they prepared to leave the stronghold, a new transmission came through their communicators. Reinforcements were arriving, Coalition ships descending to secure the stronghold and provide much-needed support. The battle had been won, but the war against the Darkoon was far from over. James looked up at the sky, the sight of Coalition ships filling him with a renewed sense of purpose. They had achieved a significant victory, but there were still challenges ahead. The Coalition would continue to fight, united by a common goal and strengthened by the bonds forged in battle. As they boarded the transport back to the Coalition's main fleet, James felt a sense of calm wash over him. They had struck a decisive blow against the Darkoon, and the future looked brighter than ever. With Kara by his side and his comrades ready to face whatever came next, James knew they were ready for any challenge the galaxy might throw their way. The transport lifted off, carrying them away from the battlefield and toward a future filled with hope and promise. James leaned back in his seat, closing his eyes for a moment, allowing himself to rest. The fight was far from over, but for now, they had won a crucial victory. And with allies like Kara, he felt ready to face whatever came next.